right, new team members, this is call 2 for you. I hope that you're finding this call series helpful. Last week we talked about the words to get started, how to invite people to your launch party, how to introduce people to your new business, to go to them if they can't come to you. If this does not sound familiar to you, then do check your email because I did send you the recording from last week in your email, and it's also posted on the team page. If you are not receiving emails from me, Michelle Zito, separately from Park Lane, then definitely let me know so that I can double check your email address and make sure that you are in it, in the team, email group. So today we're going to go super practical and just make sure that you understand our customer sale and our hostess plan. Because understanding the customer sale is also how you understand how to take an order. Now, many of you will do all of your first batches of orders side by side with your leader at your launch. But because that's not true of everyone and they won't be with you forever and you may take an order outside of your show before it even happens, I want to make sure that everyone is super well versed and can explain to someone what the sale is, and as well as how to explain to someone exactly what their hostess benefits are. So let's start out with the customer sale. Now, when we are taking customer orders, the easiest method, I just realized I don't have a, hold on. Okay, so when I do a party, I actually use these little clipboards for the guests. Now, if you see that, this is the little wish lists that you may have ordered in your 50% off paperwork package. But certainly if your leader's doing your party with you, she will bring these for you, or he. So this is a teeny tiny clipboard that's only the size of a wish list. I know that when I'm holding something up to a camera, scale is hard to tell. So this is a teeny tiny clipboard that's the same size as a wish list. It's the same size as the host rewards brochure. And I got these for like $1 something each, originally at Walmart. And then when I started running out of them, because apparently I'm irresponsible and leave them behind places, Kim actually found some on Amazon or something that had the pen holder built in at the top. So I love that because when I handed out, the pens are already there. And at the end of the show, I kind of walk around and I kind of have an idea of how many pens I may or may not have lost. So anyway, I use these little clipboards, and on the top of the clipboard is simply the wish list facing out. Now, the opposite side of this sheet, just so you know, is the part where they're going to fill in their name, address, all their contact info, and there's a little questionnaire. We don't want that facing out at the beginning, actually, because they think it's an order form and it's not. And we don't want them answering any questions before they have had a chance to fall in love with you and to fall in love with the jewelry. Because what they will tend to do is check off, no, I don't want to show, no, I don't want business information, nope. And then they think they're done and they filled it out and we're done here. And we have only just begun, we're certainly not done. So what we want facing out to them is simply just the wish list. And you'll see that at a show, we explain that this is simply a wish list. What you're going to do is write down the piece of anything that you like, write down the name. They won't even probably have a catalog in their hands at this point. We're showing the jewelry, we're romancing it, we're having them try it on, we are showing them combinations. Any piece that you like, jot it down. And then at the end, we're going to work the magic of the sale to get you the best possible deal. So that they know this, and straight out tell them, this is not your order form. This is really essentially the scrap paper that we use to decide what is going on your order form. And the reason you have to be so clear about that is that people think that if they start writing things down, that somehow you're going to charge them for all of it. And they're afraid to do that, especially when the prices aren't even in front of them. So we just encourage them to keep a list. Now, you may do this in a one-on-one appointment. You may do this at a show that you're sitting with someone. You may do this even yourself when you're keeping track of things that you want. So just use it as a wish list. So here's how our sale works in general. So it is buy 2 pieces at regular price. Those 2 pieces are your lowest price pieces. Then you can get as many as 4 more at half price, and those can be any price at all. So let's say that you have a customer that wants, oh, my kit is packed. I have some loose jewelry here. Okay, so let's say you have a customer that wants a Lovey bracelet. This is a $36 bracelet. We definitely try to keep the low items like 30-ish and under. There are earrings as low as $18 that they can get. Actually, I have 2 more better choices right here. Hold on. All right, so these are the Whisper earrings. The Whisper earrings come in both gold and silver. They're super light. They're only $18. So we encourage them to write that on their wish list. The Moana earrings. These also come in gold or silver, but also rose gold. Super lightweight, beautiful filigree. They are $24. The Encore earrings. The Encore earrings are hematite and neutral crystals in the middle, great to blend to do a mixed metal look. These are also only $18. And lest we think that it has to always be a necklace, earrings, it does not. This is the flare bracelet. And the flare bracelet is only $24, and it gives you the look of a whole big long stack of bracelets while being quiet. It fits everyone because it's open on the bottom, and it's only $24, also comes in silver. Okay, so just an example, there's a bajillion things that we have that are $30-ish and under. We have tons of stud earrings. There are other bracelets. These are really popular, the Dottie earrings. These come in all 4 metal colors. The matinee earrings, just a real basic cute glass pearl. I think these are $18. So lots and lots of great options. Those are going to be the 2 pieces that you take at regular price, so that now you're entitled to 4 more pieces at half price. And those can be any price at all. So when your customer wants a lifestyle bracelet, this is a great open top bracelet that's easy to put on. They stack, they come in 3 different metals. Normally this bracelet is $46, but your customer is going to get it for $23 because of buying 2 lower priced items. The Petals necklace. This is a really popular half price item because it certainly looks like a more pricey piece. Mixed metal, looks beautiful on everybody. Normally $68. Customers are taking this for $34 as a half price item. Okay, so this is where the customer pretty much gets all of their middle-ish priced pieces. You'll get people that go as high as, say, a unicorn necklace, which is normally $94, and get it for $37, right? Is that what half of 94 is? Or is that 47? 47. $47 is they'll take a unicorn for half price if they really want to. Because then they get to move into phase 2 of the sale. And the part 2 of the customer sale is with a $90 or more purchase, and that means adding the 2 low priced items to however many half price items they've chosen. If that part of the order totals $90 or more, then they get to add a bonus item onto their order. And the bonus item can be any piece of jewelry that they want that would normally be as high as $200. They get to take it for $25. Now, you will see a visible facial reaction when you say this to people one-on-one, and certainly in a party environment. They go, oh, what? And you always have to repeat it because they're certain they heard you wrong. Yes, any order total when you're low and your half price items come to $90 or more, you get to add any piece of jewelry that you're about to cross out because you thought it was going to be too expensive. That would have been as high as $200. You're getting it for $25. So that means that if a customer wants an Impressions bracelet, normally $182, comes in all different colors, several different metals, they get this piece for $25. So So you'll see that they'll take a high-end necklace, a statement ring, an impressions bracelet, or another high-end bracelet, and they will take that piece for $25. So it is a phenomenal sale, and one of the biggest reasons that people book a party is to share a great deal with their friends. And that's what hosting a party is. Yes, they're going to get a huge shopping spree, which we're going to go over shortly, but women love to share a deal with their friends. Haven't you done that for no benefit at all to yourself? Right? When you called your friend and told her that at Garage in the mall, all the black leggings were on sale and your 13-year-old daughters don't wear anything but black leggings, you run out and go get the $10 Garage leggings. When you see a great movie, you've recommended it. Have you ever gone on Facebook and said, you have to go to this restaurant, the food is amazing? They have they're having a price fix this week. This is you sharing a sale. And yet, none of those places will give you a big, giant shopping spree for doing that the way that Park Lane will. So you'll see that, so at shows, we have customers this is all they have. They'll say, do I need an order form? Nope, I'm going to work the order form. All the magic on your order form. You just need the scrap paper. That's the wish list. And you encourage them to keep writing everything down that they want. Because once the customer comes up with all of the items on the wish list, now you sit down with them, and this again can be at a personal appointment. Now, I opened a kit with someone yesterday, and the cheat sheet shopping guide was not blue. It was another color. Did you guys get this in another color? I feel like hers was pink or peach or some other color, I forget. But in any event, you have a shopping guide that you can even just print this off the Fields interface. It's all of the jewelry pieces in alphabetical order with pricing, sizes, and colors. Because here's what happens. Your customer is going to come up with just lifestyle written on the order form. You're brand new. You don't know if lifestyle is earrings, a bracelet, a necklace. Does it come in colors? What is it? I have no idea what that is. So you're going to take your cheat sheet, your shopping guide, and go to L. And it says lifestyle. It tells you the 3 different pages it's on. It tells you that it's a bracelet and that it comes in gold, hematite, and silver. So you're going to say, okay, great, a lifestyle bracelet. Fill in the normal price. And then I usually ask for colors at the end since I'm not even 100% sure if she's buying it yet. But my first step is to whatever they wrote down, I say, you know what, first I'm going to fill in the regular price for everything. But remember, most of these things are on sale, so will be on sale, so don't have a heart attack. And I fill in the real price, the retail price of everything on her list. Because what I'm trying to see is, does she have 2 low-priced items? Does she have her middle things that we're going to take for half? And does she have a nice big bonus item? So if I see the 2 low-priced items are there, I circle those. And then I say, okay, so it looks like you did a great job picking out the 2 low items. You're definitely best off getting your Encore earrings here and your Namaste ring. Those are $18 and $20. So that's great for your low items. Which means that your lifestyle bracelet, instead of $46, is going to be $23. And your Lovey bracelet, instead of $36, is going to be $18. And it means that your Birch bracelets, instead of $80, are going to be $40. That's amazing. Now, your order total here, with this purchase, you're actually entitled to a bonus item. And the bonus item can be any piece of jewelry as high as $200 for $25. So was there like a high-end thing that you were afraid to write down because you thought it was too expensive? What did you see that you loved? And they go, oh my gosh, really? Doesn't matter if you said it 527 times at the show. Somebody's going to go, really? Now, we don't know if they came late, they weren't paying attention, or somewhere in the middle. But they get excited. So sometimes they'll say, oh, well, I'm going to go back and look. And they'll take back their whole thing with them. They'll walk away, and you can start the next person because you now, she's going to go look for an impressions bracelet, a necklace. She's going to have her friend help her because sometimes they're like, come help me pick. What should I get? And they love this. Sometimes you'll see they only have 1 low-priced item and then a bunch of others, at which time I would suggest, hey, you have whisper earrings on here, which is a great low price item, but everything else you have is like 60 or above. Was there something else in that lower price point that you liked? Because I would love to be able to give you these items all half and not charge you full price for something that's 60. And then they'll say, oh, well, what do you have? So you can kind of take it from there. But you'll see that once you get it on the order form, that it's pretty self-explanatory once you're on here. The 2 low items go at the top, and you write a little total here. Then the middle section here is where you're putting everything they're getting on sale. So if they're getting a birch bracelet, then you'll write birch bracelet. Where it says regular price column, you'll put 80. There's no size on a bracelet. Color, do they want the white set or the black set? And then their new price next to it, the sale price, is 40. Okay, so that's what you do for their half price items, as well as for their bonus item. They want an olive necklace, normally $184. They're getting it for $25. Then you add up the sale column. So half price and specials total. What's the full price total? What's that total? Add tax, add the shipping, and then that's your total. Now, you'll see, though, on the left, there's a section that says you saved, right? The you saved is one of the most important parts of the order, because someone telling you that telling someone that they just spent $265, that may not be what they expected when they first came to the party. However, we want them to be super excited about their $265 by telling them that they saved $287. And the way that we're able to do that is they got their olive necklace, right? It's normally $184, but they paid $25. So to figure out what they saved, start with the bonus item. Okay? So if they paid, if the olive is $184 minus the $25 they paid, they saved $159 on that. Now just add on the half of all their half price items, because they saved on that as well, right? So if they bought birch bracelets at half, they saved $40. If they bought a lifestyle bracelet, they saved $23 on that. And if they bought, I don't know, even, the petals necklace, then they saved $32 on that. So their you saved is $254. So I would say, Jessica, oh my gosh, I have the best news. You saved $254 and your total is $267.95. Is that amazing? And they usually go, oh my gosh. And I usually follow up with some sort of joke. Kohl's got nothing on us, or something like that. You know how Kohl's does that? You saved $2,967 and your total is $52.19. Something preposterous. So I always make a joke about Kohl's. But now the order is pretty much done. The blank space down here is where you write their credit card information. Make sure you get the number, the expiration date, and the 3-digit code. And then just double check and say, is the billing address the same as the address you're writing on the form? If it's not, you need that info. If it is, then you're fine. If they're paying cash, I just write cash paid. If they're paid a check, I just write check paid. Now, once I have all the items that they definitely want on the order form, and I still have to do the math, that's when I say, okay, Jessica, so if you could please do your info on this side while I do your math, that would be great, so that we can make you a complete receipt. So while I'm doing the math part, she's filling out name, address, email, phone, and all of the answers to these questions if she wants. So I do that for 2 reasons. One, I need them to have a little job to do while I am doing their math, because I don't like them breathing on my neck while I'm trying to do the math. It makes me nervous. And I don't want them watching every little plus, plus, plus. But also, it's super important that we get this information, because when I give them the receipt, I tell them, because I look it over. If I see they've left something out, I hand it back. Oh, Jessica, can you just put your phone number down there? That'd be great, thanks. Or, oh, do you have an email address that you use? That's how I always word it. Do you have an email address that you use? And they'll say, oh, yeah, I do. Okay, great, because that's how you get your receipt. So if you could write that down, please. Because I want to be able to do follow-up email, customer care. I want to make sure I have the right information. I want to make sure I can read all of it. Because one thing that is fabulous about Park Lane, and this was not true in my other company, when an item is on back order, and the the order arrives to the hostess to hand out. So Jessica's party comes to her house. She now has a bag for Leslie. She has a bag for Belinda. She has a bag for Ashley, right? But let's say Ashley opens her order and there's a little sticker at the bottom of the receipt that says item number 12345 is on back order. What that means is that the lifestyle bracelet isn't coming in this shipment, but it's going to ship directly to her when it comes in. I will tell you this, in my old company, back orders went to the hostess with no identifying information. So my hostesses would constantly call me and be like, who gets this bowl? And I was like, I don't know. It was so annoying. Now I had to go through, and I didn't blame the hostess. It was totally not her fault. She shouldn't know. I sold it, and I still don't even know. And now I had to pull up her show and figure out who bought a bowl, and such a pain in the neck. So Park Lane will send it directly to the customer, which is why the address has got to be right. If you see an apartment number, if you know you're in an urban area and you don't see an apartment number, confirm that. Is this a private house, or is there an apartment number I need to know? Because if Park Lane sends it to where it says and no one lives there, now you have a problem. Okay, so make sure that you can read it all, because people, I don't know why they feel the need to write like serial killers and doctors and everything else, but people have bad handwriting. So make sure you can read the whole thing. P.O. boxes, yes, anything you need to know, make sure it's there. And then now you have everything. So when you're all done, you're going to take a receipt. You're going to separate it. You keep the top one because that's easier to read. And you give them the bottom yellow copy. Now what I do is I give her the bottom yellow copy. I fold it in half along with my business card, and I say, okay, Jessica, this is, I call this receipt the what the heck did I buy last night receipt. It's just a temporary receipt to let you know what you bought and what you paid. The good official receipt is going to come to the email you wrote right here, as well as a hard paper copy with the jewelry. Make sure you save at least one of them in case you ever run into a problem. And they say, oh, okay, thank you. And now they're on their way. Okay, now this is, of course, just the math part. There's lots of other conversation that goes on at order taking as it relates to booking them into a show, if they want business information and all of that. This today is really just about the mechanics of the sale. So then on here, all I wrote was Jessica C, because she's writing all of her information on here. No one else in the world will see this order form but me. So I don't have to rewrite her name, address, and phone number on this, because what I'm going to do is once this is ripped in half, I fold it in half, I take her wish list, I go like this. If she paid with a check or something, that goes in here too. And then I put it in my little order folder, and I'm ready for the next customer. And when I come home, now here's her info, here's her order, I enter it into the computer. Okay, and there's not all this extra writing. See how it says on the order form what the item number is and all that? You don't need to be writing all that down. That's just more time. When you enter your order, you'll see there's a little question mark that you click, and you write lifestyle, and then the item number comes up and you click it. So don't kill yourself with, I got to fill in every one of these boxes. Name, price, ring size, color, that's all you need. All right? Any questions on the sale or anything related to that? Are you excited to share this particular sale, like with friends and family? Isn't it such a great sale?
The $22 and $250, is that for the hostess?
Correct.
Okay. I think I got the 22 and the 25 and the 200 and 250 mixed up for that.
Yes, that is a common error. So that is, yeah, that happens sometimes. The $22 special is for the hostess, and that's what we're going to go into in a minute. So yeah, the customers get a $25 bonus item, 2 items at regular price, and as many as 4 at half, or whatever number they want, as many as 4. When those 2 things total 90, that's how they're entitled to the bonus item. So, hostesses. One of the biggest reasons why there are 3 main reasons people book a party. 1, they had fun at the party they attended. Now, in your case, they may not have attended a party yet. So we have to wow them with the other 2 reasons, which is to help a friend, that's you, and to wow them with the free and discounted jewelry shopping spree that we're going to get. Now, when you are just reaching out to let people know, like, hey, I'm super excited. I started my business with Park Lane. Have you heard of it? I would love if I could meet a few of your friends and do a fun get-together. You are going to get a tremendous free and discounted shopping spree, about $400 or so in free and discounted. That's all you have to tell them at that point. You don't have to know all the details when you're just like texting and talking to your friends in person and talking to your friends on the phone. Because if someone's going to ultimately say no anyway, you don't have to like go on and on about the whole program, because that's really what we call hostess coaching, where we coach her to have a successful show. And you don't want to coach the girl before she's your hostess. Right now up front, you're just trying to wow her with $400 or so in free and discounted jewelry. If she collects 10 orders, she's going to get $400 in just the credit part. And her free and discounted shopping spree combined is going to really be more like $600 or $700 or potentially more. If she gets less than that, let's say she has 5 orders, she's going to get $100 in credit. She's going to probably take a couple of half price items. She's going to take a thank you piece. She might take some hostess only, and all of that together, free and discounted, is likely to be about $400. So that's where we're kind of coming up with saying $400 free and discounted. And then depending on how many orders will depend on how much of that is the free and how much of that is the discounted. So once you do have hostesses and you're working with them on, or if you're working with someone a little more savvy, where they're like, well, what do I get? Because you know how we all have some friends that are like home party queens and they've had every show, right? You all have that friend, which by the way, should be someone you're asking to host. Because if she's already had at some point Tupperware, Pure Romance, 31, and all these other home shows, then guess what? You're next, and she's having you. So that kind of girl, you would explain it all, but otherwise you wait until they definitely have a show. Now, there are 2 versions of this brochure, meaning on the cover, you probably all got the one with like a blonde girl, one blonde girl with a close-up of like a circular necklace on the front. Whereas I still have the one before they changed the cover, and it's this one. The inside is the same. So I just don't want you to be confused where you're saying, I don't have a brochure that looks like that. You have a brochure that looks like this. It's just that the cover is different, okay? I buy things like in 4 billion at a time. So they changed it like 2 months ago, and I still have this one. So anyway, our hostess plan. There are 5 parts to our hostess plan of all the things that they get when they decide to have a show. So what are the 5 gifts? Gift number 1 is the thank you piece. They get to pick any piece of jewelry shown here. Some of them go as high. The highest value one is $184 or so. They get to pick one for $22. So right there, they're saving well over $100, and they haven't even used a penny of credit yet. Now, I'm sure that when you picked your kit, you put some of these into it. We had a lot of them on the advised list, and I'm sure that your recruiter helped you pick pieces that were some of these, because obviously the more times you can say, and you get this for $22 when you have a show, you get to pick this one at an over $100 discount when you have me over. The more times you can say that, the more seeds that you plant, the more bookings you're going to receive. So they get to pick one of those for $22. Okay, then when you turn the page, you'll see the full rest of the listing. Okay, so gift number 2 is the credit. So your hostesses receive $20 in credit for every order that's placed. So if 5 friends place an order, then you get to pick out, that hostess gets to pick out $100 worth of free jewelry. If your state has sales tax, they will pay tax on the amount that they earn. So if they get 160, they pay tax on that 160. Park Lane, however, doubles their free credit to $40 an order if there are 10 orders on the party. So I always break that down to a hostess as, so that means if 2 of the girls from work place an order, 6 girls are at your house that night, and then the 2 that canceled as I was walking up the driveway all place an order, you're getting $400 in jewelry credit. And you get to shop for $400 worth of jewelry with free credit. That's amazing. So obviously once a hostess hits like 7, they find a way, where you're like, okay, there's only 3, you are 3 orders away from doubling from 140 to 400 in credit. So who do you know that would still place an order and then help them? Who didn't come tonight? Oh, my sister actually canceled last minute, and oh, you know what? My neighbor didn't show up. Okay, I'm going to leave you a book for her, and you can also send her your shopping link. And then sometimes they'll say, well, can I place the 10th order? Of course they can. You can decide you want to place the 10th order. Let's say you had an amazing show, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't let this happen. I'll place an order for Whisper Earrings to help her get her 10th order. Something to keep in mind. Well, all right, you know what? Let me say that other part when I get up to that. But 10 orders is the magic number. That includes your launch party. Because many of you still have your launch coming up. The most of you still have your launch coming up. Remember, you're her for this. So if you have 10 orders on your launch, you're picking out $400 worth of jewelry. And when after your launch, there's going to be people all the time. Somebody will say, hey, like my sister-in-law at my brother's, at my son's graduation, loved the tiki earrings on my daughter. She's like, Michelle, can you get me those? Absolutely. I gather up a bunch of orders like that, and I put them in as a show in my name. Now I get to pick, even if it was 3 orders that came to $300, I get to pick out $60 worth of free stuff. I get to pick out another thank you award for $22. These are all ways to enhance your kit where you're like, ooh, I can get that Sunny necklace and have another high-end thing to show as a thank you award. So you're able to do that anytime you want. Park Lane does not play games. I don't know who always has direct sales experience, but my former company, if there was an order in your name, they wouldn't pay you on it. If you put in a show in your own name, you couldn't get the past hostess benefits on the booking, which meant when your hostess joined, she lost all of her past hostess benefits for all the shows she was about to do, which is the dumbest thing on earth. Why would you discourage somebody from signing by doing that, right? So you get your current hostess benefits on every show in your name, and you get the past hostess benefit on any show that comes as a result of a show in your name. So you get to really benefit from this often, which is why it's also important for you to understand it really well. So now, the next gift that your hostess receives is half-price items.
Ashley, hold on. Ashley, do you have a question on that? I saw you raise your hand a minute ago.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay.
Thanks, Jen.
No, I just wasn't sure if I should just wait.
No, it's good. It's fine.
But I think I'm not too sure if you answered about the 10 purchases. Because I already had my party, but if somebody purchased something at the party, could they purchase something a few days later, and that counts as a separate order, or would it be the same on the same order?
Is the show still open?
Yes.
If there's still room on their order for more half-price items, and they're saying, hey, I should have also got the blah, 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 then if they only took 2 out of their 4 half-price items, definitely reopen the order, add the items, update the payment, and then just hit save at the bottom.
Okay, I see.
If the order was already closed, then yes. Or if there's no more room for any more half price items and they want more, then you're probably better off opening another order for them. Because let's say they want 3 more things. Well, then let 2 of them be regular and 1 of them be half. You know, so sometimes people with like humongo orders, like I had a couple weeks ago, I did a show where somebody seriously wanted like, I want to say it was like 15 items. So I didn't tell her, okay, I'm making this into 2 orders, or because she doesn't need to know all the technicalities. I just took out 2 order forms. I looked for 4 low, 2 high, and all the rest in the middle. And I just told her a grand total. I didn't tell her, you know, write me 2 checks. I'm running the credit card twice. None of this. I just added up the total, told her the number, and I said, by the way, I got you 2 of those bonus items since you have such a nice order. That I told her. But I didn't tell her how I did it, because what do they care? Would you care if
As long as you save the money.
Finagling an order? Right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
She was
I have a
thrilled.
question.
Thank you.
You were saying something about how if you are the hostess and then there's somebody else who wants to host, and then somehow you're able to reap the benefits from them hosting. Because I already have somebody who's not going to be able to make the launch party that wants to do a Facebook party. And so I'm like, okay, that's what we're going to deal with tomorrow, because my launch party is tonight. I'm like, okay, we'll get that started. But what can I tell her so that way she can know that if she has somebody that wants to throw a party after her, how she can benefit from that too? Is that?
Yeah, we're coming up on that right now. That's what we're coming up on here. So,
gotcha. Sorry.
no, don't be sorry. Gift number 3 is half price items. So once you or they, you know, run out of credit, they've used their thank you. Let's say there's 2 or 3 things they still want. They get them for half price. That includes you, and the reason I'm going to reiterate this is that, let's say, you know, you have a kit, right? Really, pretty much all of you picked your kit. Now you know, you got whatever amount of credit, you picked a thank you award, and you're like, no, I still really want those 2 things. It is smart to put them on the half price items of your show, because you get paid on that. That's net sales for you. So anytime a hostess puts stuff on pieces on her half price items, you're getting paid on that half price. So it adds onto your paycheck. So think about it that way, that if there's pieces you still want when you're closing your show, put it as the half price items on your order, because not only are you getting it for 50% off, you're getting paid 30% of that. So really you're getting it for like 60 to 70% off. All right, now the next part is what we're almost there to answer your question, Leslie. The next section of the hostess benefits is the host reserve collection. Did you notice how in the back of the catalog, there's a section of jewelry that all say host reserve? Those are pieces that are high-end, special pieces that we make in far smaller quantities that are marked down for the hostesses. Jen's actually wearing one right now. So Jennifer's wearing the Fiore necklace, which is $135 in retail value. However, hostesses are allowed to purchase it for $45. That's probably the most popular hostess item. At least it is for me. So because it's not that expensive, it's amazing, and they feel like they're getting something really substantial, which they are. It's a beautiful piece. So a couple of questions that come up on the host reserve, where a customer will say, well, can I get this? No, not today, but if you're having me come over, then absolutely I can get that for you. They'll say, well, can I buy it for the retail price? Nope. Oh, it's only special discounted for our hostesses. I would love to style you and a couple of friends. Now, your hostess will sometimes say, can I put that in my free? Now, the deal is that it's $45, not that you can use credit and that it's $45. So they have 2 choices. One is to pay $45 in normal money. If they want it to be $135, if they want it to be in the credit, they have to use the retail of the credit. So it's going to take up $135 of the credit in order to do that. Very few hostesses will do that. But for the ones that want to, I want you to be able to be empowered to say, yes, you can. We just have to do it at the retail price. You'll probably forget that, and you'll say, you know what, I feel like I learned about that. Let me ask my leader. Hold on. And you'll at least know that there was something about that, and you can probably get an answer for you. Which, by the way, please remember that applies to all Park Lane questions, okay? I don't know what kind of regular day jobs you all have, but let's say one of you was a nurse. If you made a mistake at work, you know how like someone could die if you're a nurse? You don't know the answer to the question, how do I do the tracheotomy? How do I do the blood transfusion? Okay, there are no questions of that magnitude here at Park Lane. So nothing bad happens if you say, you know what, I don't know. Let me get back to you on that. No one goes, you ruined my life because I can't get an answer on if this comes in rose gold, or if they can get it with their credit. No one's life is ruined over a Park Lane question, okay? So please remember that this is your fun side gig and that there are no emergencies that are life-threatening here at Park Lane, okay? Now, oh my gosh, Leslie stepped away and we're up to the part. Leslie, come back! Because here's the answer. So here's the answer to the question Leslie had, which is, what does the hostess get when her friends have a show, right? That's the fifth part. And that is that, remember this? She gets another one of these at every show that is booked from her show in a 2-month time frame. I'm going to say again that applies to you because I'm quite sure this is happening to all of you. Ashley, you know, you had your launch party with Jen. Jen probably got a few shows booked for you, or we will happen soon, or whatever. All of you are having a launch party that some people will book. When that show happens, you get to place an order on that show, getting another one of these for $22. It's a fantastic way to build your kit. You just have to, you and any past hostess, it has to be added to the remainder of their order. So if you have a hostess that wants to do a 2 low, get some half price items, get a bonus item, and get a thank you award, obviously that's a home run order. But if you have a hostess that she's like, oh my gosh, I have so much stuff, let me just get, then just say, no problem, let's just get you a little item so that, you know, you can get your thank you. So she can get whisper earrings and one of these, and it counts as one of the 10 orders for your hostess. Okay, so that's why we want her order, but it has to be something plus this, whether it's one little something, one medium something, or a full-on 2 + 4 order plus a bonus item in this. You want to see an awesome you saved on a hostess side. You know, when we did the order form earlier, when they saved, let's say she takes a mermaid. Mermaid's normally 104 minus 22. She takes an olive necklace as a bonus, which is 184 plus 25. That's almost a $200 savings, and we didn't even do her half price items yet. So a past hostess can have an amazing you saved. All right? So that's the 5 things that a hostess gets. A thank you award at her party, her free credit, her half price items, her hostess reserve if she so chooses, and her past hostess thank you award at every show booked from hers. Now, you will have plenty of hostesses that don't take any half price items, that don't want any hostess reserve, but pretty much every hostess certainly takes their credit, and they pretty much 99.9% of the time take the thank you award. So some of them will do just those 2, and some will do the full gamut, and some will do somewhere in the middle. But when you're talking with your hostess, you're always saying, you know, so you're entitled to some, now that you've run out of credit, you're entitled to some half price items. Was there anything else you want to add on at half price? Okay, Leslie, now you're entitled to shop our hostess reserve section. These are the pieces that you can only get when you have a party. So this is the time. I'd hate for you to tell me later you want this because this is, you know, this is the hostess special. So is there anything from this section that you wanted? Always let them know. Okay, so now, Ashley, now that Belinda and Jessica both booked, you get to take another one of these when their party comes. So make sure that they hold their date because I would hate for you to lose out. I know you waited on your mermaid necklace to get it at Belinda's, so don't let Belinda cancel because then we're going to miss out on that. We like them to like stay vested in making sure that Belinda has her party.
I have a question for that specific host.
Yeah.
So if my friend, her name's Jen, if she wants to host online and then she does another one, is in the system, does it say, oh, this party stems from Jen, she qualifies for her piece? Or is it my job to remember to say, hey, da 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 da?
It's your job to remember.
Okay.
Now, here's what actually makes it easier. The Park Lane system has no idea if Patty really booked from Jessica. What the system is looking for is when you put in a past host item, it asks for the show number of the previous show. As long as the show number you put there is within 2 months of the show you're about to submit, it's going to take it.
Okay.
Which means that maybe they really booked from them, maybe they really didn't. You know, when I book a show on my own, so like the show that I did on Friday, that was not booked from another show. That was from me reaching out, hey, we'd love to do a show, whatever. I put my name in as an order on that show. I took a past hostess thank you award, and I just used the show number from a show last month that went in my name.
Cool.
They don't know, hey, you know, she didn't even order on that show. There's no investigation. Does the show number take place within 2 months of this show? It's a go.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
And if you're trying to make it easier on yourself, you can always put a note in your calendar, you know, booked from Mary, booked from Susan, and then just count back.
And if they co-host it, if there's 2 people on a party, I'm just thinking of like the most.
There's only going to be one past hostess available because a show can't. There's no real co-hosting. In fact, to be honest, Leslie, usually it's to a co-hostess show's benefit because sometimes you'll get that, right? Oh, you want to do the show together? We can have it at my house. It's still usually worth it to put it in as 2 separate shows. Because when 2 people share hostess benefits, that means they're getting 1 thank you award and they're splitting the credit and whatever. So better to put in 3 orders under Susan, 3 orders under Mary in their own show. Now they each get their own thank you award, their own amount of credit, their own thank you awards, their own half price items, and you don't have to also perform algorithms on the payment.
And they're still friends at the end of the party because
Correct.
They got their own.
Right. So if you just lay it out, okay, there were 6 orders tonight. These 3 definitely add to 300 or more. These 3 definitely add to 300 or more. You're all set.
Well, okay.
Yeah, they prefer that.
Yeah, I bet. Hi, Katie.
Any other thoughts or questions on these 2 topics? All right. So since this seems to be going very well, there's certainly more topics that we can talk about. I'm going to do the same thing next Tuesday at this time with our next training topic. And I'm still debating on what's the right next thing to teach you. So I'm going to keep you in suspense on which should be next. But if you came on late, don't worry. I'm going to post the recording on this so you can catch what you missed. And of course, I know lots of you are watching this back as the recording. So I love having so many new team members and all of your questions. And please know that we never tire of your questions. It is far worse when somebody starts and then enters the witness protection program with their kit. We much prefer you to be asking us 100 questions than to go into hiding. So please ask all the questions that you have. We absolutely love it. So have a great rest of the day, everybody.
Thank you, Michelle. You're amazing.
My pleasure.
Thank
Bye.
you.